Pascal Siakam, wearing the gold, walking in. That how you come to work?
It's not bad. When you're up 2-1, yeah.
Well, Pascal Siakam bounced back from the worst shooting game of the postseason for him in Game 2 to shoot 8 for 14, scoring 21 in the Game 3 victory. Then he had a chat with 3D Dennis Scott yesterday about how the Pacers have gotten to this point.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals, tied at 1 game apiece. And we head to the fourth quarter, a 5-point lead for OKC. Now Halliburton to the rim, layup, that's good.
Gathering driving left, lays it up left-handed, lays it in.
8-point lead, largest lead of the game for Indiana. This was a great total team effort.
Like they just grind away.
Aston Neesmith, and he buries a cold-blooded three.
Siakam inside, and that will do it.
As is their custom, the Pacers rallied.
They're 2 wins away from a championship.
Both teams go deep in their bench, but your bench is playing very well right now. Why does each guy buy into it and listen to what Rick is saying?
We understand that that's what makes us special. We understand that's what helps us win when everyone is in tune and the guys coming off the bench, TJ, Ben, Obi, just bringing energy to the game, and everybody knows their role. And at the end of the day, the only thing we all care about is winning, and that's what drives us.
TJ McConnell off the bench.
McConnell steals, and the Pacers get 4 quick points.
TJ, we're feeling you. We're seeing you.
We tell fans playing hard is a skill. TJ McConnell comes in the game, he goes bananas. Take us through his focus and why he plays so hard.
Yeah, I mean, TJ is awesome, man. The fans love him. So once he's out there in the game, like, you just feel like the energy is going up. And when he gets into just getting steals and running the show for us, he's just so special. And when he does that, like, again, he takes our team to another level.
Pass inside, Siakam with the finish.
Siakam attack mode for the Dukes.
Pascal coming alive here in the fold.
I think he's the most underrated player in the NBA.
The Hall of Famer Charles Barkley says you're underrated. When someone like that says that, how you feel?
Obviously, it's cool. I don't really play the game for recognition, and I go out there every single day, man. I do my job, and I try to do it to the best of my ability. But just to have somebody like him just recognize that, I mean, it's crazy. When you look at my journey, where I come from, like a kid like me, like I'm not supposed to be here, So it's pretty cool to have that recognition.
Siakam spins, gets a little bit of space over top, and Spicy P. Open free. Siakam nails it. Siakam in a bucket. That's just too easy.
How have you used being a champion in Toronto and now being the voice and being the go-to guy here now in Indiana?
It's been awesome. It's been a blessing, man. And I think it's credit to the team. It's a privilege to be in a situation like that where you feel like your voice is heard and you have people that are depending on you and they want you to do good. And I think for me, I just want to be that person that settles everybody down, make sure that we keep our eyes on the prize. If it's a hell of a ride and it's complicated, it's hard, there's a lot of ups and downs, and I think we just got to be focused.
Pacers are in their second ever NBA Finals in franchise history.
Start the heat up here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
The players, the intensity, the crowd feeds off of it.
This is what every player dreams about. Good bounce back game.
You won your championship in Toronto, and y'all had Jurassic Park. You remember how crazy the fans were there? These fans haven't had this feeling in 25 years. How can you compare the excitement?
I've been a part of a team where there was a lot of excitement, and we not only played for a state or we played for a whole country. So it's different here too. And I think for me, I just love like how connected the fans are to us, and I just love the excitement, man. And I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Well, those fans were rocking here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for Game 3, and they certainly will be again tonight. You could feel it walking the city the last couple of days, how much they love and appreciate this. One of the things we saw, we obviously spoke a lot about the Pacers defense, Grant, in the first segment, but their offense, we saw a different approach with how they got their points in Game 3 as opposed to Game 2.
Yeah, clearly there was a point of emphasis in Game 3 offensively for the Pacers to get paint touches off the bounce in transition. And as you can see here, kind of a broken play. Tyrese Halliburton, that double high screen roll, which they love to do, he turns it down, gets to the paint, makes a tough shot. And of course, McConnell did this a few times in Game 3. And then once again, did the activity, energy, and unselfish play. Once again, a paint touch, not relying just on three-point shooting. And then defensive rebounding, getting out in transition where they thrive, topping one of the best finishers in the game, beats the defense down, draws the defense, unselfish play. And then right there, Siakam, his ability one-on-one. You got to respect that. Halliburton as well. Didn't settle, went downhill, got a paint touch. I think they had 50 points in the paint there in game 3. So the aggressiveness and the unselfish play really helped them teams, particularly on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think the Indiana Pacers really set the tone. And when you control the pace of the game, you're able to set your defense. When you're scoring on that end, you're able to set your defense and then get the ball in your playmakers' hands in transition in secondary. And I'm telling you, they have some of the most dynamic playmakers in transition.
Well, we saw the real difference in this game came in the second and fourth quarter, Chuck, particularly when those bench players like Ben Mathurin and TJ McConnell and even Obi Toppin and Ben Shepherd is not going to get a lot of credit because he didn't score a lot of points, but his defense on SGA was tremendous in that game. So that clearly was massive. And Chuck, you were talking about it post game. The stat is this, that OKC has lost 20 games this year, playoffs and regular season combined. Of those 20 losses, their bench was outscored in 13 of those games, including in game 3. So, we're looking at different guys who struggled in game 3. Alex Caruso, looking at certainly Cason Wallace, who has struggled this series, shooting 0 for 6 from 3. Aaron Wiggins didn't really even get on the court in game 3 after dominating in game 2.
Yeah, I don't want to call out the coaches, but I don't even understand what that situation is while you're not playing your bench. Your bench got you to the finals. We were bragging about this team for the last month or so. Like, man, they got the deepest team in the NBA. Listen, if the Pacers are going to outscore OKC on the bench, they're going to win this series. You showed it the games, but if they got to outscore if the Pacers win the bench battle, which they shouldn't, they should not win because the OKC Thunder have a better bench. But if they don't outscore the Pacers, and we're going to show SGA stats because he's the best player. But like I say, we go back and look, the bench won the last game. And whoever's bench wins the game probably going to win the game tonight.
I agree with Chuck. I don't know if it's necessarily what bench wins. OKC's bench just has to be better. They can't have it can't be 38 point differential between teams. OKC, if they can get to 30, and they can be productive off the bench, then they have a chance. But you're right. That's been their secret sauce this season. They wear teams down defensively, offensively, and it's been non-existent. It was at least in game 3.
But Grant,
they had success in game 2.
But Grant,
playing more guys.
You're right. But are you going to get a McConnell and a Mathurin combination of 37 points?
That's not what he said. He said,
no. What I'm saying is I know our job. We live in the over. Like it was a winnable game for OKC.
Well, they didn't win though.
3 minutes.
Well, you have to win.
And so my point is, I think they just have to be better. I don't know if
that's what he said.
I'm in agreement with Grant.
Right.
I'm agreeing with Grant. You're challenging OKC's bench and saying that he didn't play them enough and things like that. And I'm saying even despite, it was still a winnable game.
100. So
I think with a couple adjustments, Shea didn't have an SGA type of game, type of night. I don't think this is a time for overreaction from the OKC side.
I agree. And they overreacted by changing their starting lineup game 1. Now, I think when you go back to what works for you, and then 2, you got to play multiple guys, especially against this team. Indiana, they play 10 guys. You're going to have use your depth to keep up with their depth.
And like we said, SGA got worn down. That's because I will say this. The perimeter defenders in this series on both teams are incredible. If you're a guard in this series, you're going to have to bring your A game because there are no bad defensive players out there for the Pacers or OKC. So, but coaches got to make the adjustment. He can't play SGA the whole damn game against that type of defensive pressure, or he got to run him off the ball or something.
Off the ball is what you do.
But don't do any good to have depth if you don't use them.
Well, yeah, Aaron Wiggins, case in point, played 21 minutes in game 2, scored 18 points. He played just 10 minutes in game 3 and scored no points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP of the league, had a bit of a turnover problem. We'll see if he can clean that up. He had 6 of them in game 3 after committing just 4 the first 2 games combined. We've got game 4 setting the table for you right here live on NBA TV.
Shaq, can I get a picture?